Okay. Okay, sir. Go ahead.
Okay.
Samasta Janakalyane.
Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Shantakaram Bhujagashenam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasadrusham Megavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Hridhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaikanadam Satchidananda Rupaya Vishwopatyadhi
Hey, Tave.
Tave Tapat Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya
Vayam
Krishna
Namaha.
Vayam Namaha. I can't see well. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Okay, I'm supposed to do the summary of 26, 27, and 28, or just 26,
Correct.
27?
Correct. Yeah.
Just the two,
26, 27, 28.
three of them.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
thank you. Now, this is the Lord in the form of Swan is explaining the question how the mind and objects can be separated. In the previous stanza, it was mentioned that I, that is capital I, gives existence to both mind and objects of an individual. In a dream, the problem of pain and sorrow are experienced in the consciousness. The only solution to get rid of this is to wake up. But we cannot be free ourselves from these thoughts of raga and dvesha in the mind and objects is to know our own true nature. In Sloka 26, he explains 5 subtle elements of special qualities of sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. These qualities are the cause of our thoughts in mind. As long as the cause exists, the effect will manifest. So, from the vasanas, which are the objects that are manifest, is of likes and dislikes. Those are all manifested as our kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, etc. And these are all related to the mind and the objects. All our present occupations are punctuated by these qualities. We just cannot seem to live without such thoughts. The mind may ignore or remove them, but it's replaced by a similar thought. And they have an equal reality on hold on us. That's what makes the ego in us. In Slokas 27, the waking dream and the deep sleep states are in the thoughts of and the minds of all of us, which form the gunas. And that's due to the Maya. We we have studied. And let's see this. We undergo the three states of consciousness each day from birth to death. And the waker, dreamer, and the deep sleeper in us. And so here the Lord says that he cannot be any of those three states. He is beyond that. He's beyond all three states. In Ashtavakra Gita, King Janaka dreamt as a beggar, and sage Ashtavakra, when asked if the king or the beggar was real, he said both were unreal. Wake up and break away from this dream state of ignorance. So here he's going to tell us that all our these three states are unreal. The dormant state of ego, wherein the body too appears lifeless in deep sleep, the partial and total manifestation of the ego, or the dream and the waking states, respectively. In these three states, there exists a triad of enjoyed objects. And he goes on to describe the bhogya, bhokta, and the enjoyed object, which is jada. And goes on to explain how this create the enjoyer and the enjoyer in us, and that leads to the raga and dvesha. Only by determining our true nature, we can go beyond these limitations of the body, mind, and objects. So, from where does this bondage arise? That's discussed in the next stanza 28. The bondage is produced by the mind and should be given up by being established in the Lord, in the self. And that is the renunciation of the mind and the object. And he goes on to explain, Shankaracharya says, bondage has come due to our ignorance. And that due to the ignorance, we think that the body is real, and we have to realize that we're the eternal spirit in the form of a body, and not the other way around. So he also quotes Swami Chinmayananda, where he was asking Paramaguru Tapovan Maharajji, from where has ignorance come? And Tapovan Maharajji says that, have you come here to gain ignorance or knowledge? So that was eye-opener for Swamiji, Puja Guru. And there's an anecdote that is given here. A young man traveling with a beautiful-looking lady, and she asks him to take her bag.
We don't need to give the example for the
you don't need the example. Okay. Yeah. So we have identified with the body, mind, intellect as me, and the things and beings of the world as mine, and the sorrows and infatuations are mind generated. So solutions are simple, and the self which pervades the three states is called the fourth state, and that is our real self. That is explained in this last stanza. And abidance in the self will automatically result in the abandoning of both the mind and the objects which are binding us.
Good.
Hari Om.
Very good. Thank you, sir. So you can see how beautifully Bhagavan is taking us from the three states, waking, dream, and deep sleep state, to show we are not the waker or the dreamer or the deep sleeper. I am the witness. And most important thing in 28th verse, Bhagavan says that fourth state is me. That means that Bhagavan is that fourth state. So Bhagavan is in my heart means that I am that Bhagavan. I am not that so-called I identified with the body, mind, and the intellect as the jiva. So that's the most important take-home message here, that oneness, that you can't say Bhagavan is in my heart as a third person, that Bhagavan is nothing but me, the pure Atman. So we have to own up to that. And the rest of it is that my body, my waking and dream states, they are all false, Maya. And so the same thought process is continued in the next verse about the avastatraya viveka. So these states I am not. So he says, ahankara krutam bandham atmanortha viparyayam vidwan निर्विद्य संसार चिंताम तुर्ये स्थितश्चेत अहंकार कृतं बंधम आत्मनोर्थ विपर्ययम विद्वान् निर्विद्य संसार चिंताम तुर्ये स्थितश्चेत. You want to read, sir? Sarvesh Garu. You want me to read the word for word, or you can read
Yes, please go ahead with that.
Ahankara Krutam. It's created by the ego, bandham, bondage, atmanaha, of the oneself, artha viparyayam, and is calamitous. Vidwan, a wise man of firm understanding, nirvidya, becomes dispassionate, samsara chintam, tyajet. He gives up thinking about this realm of samsara, change, turye stitaha, and abiding in the fourth. That is the fourth state, that is the self. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, a wise man, understanding that the bondage of oneself is created by the ego and is calamitous, becomes dispassionate. Abiding in the self, he gives up thinking about this realm of change. Bondage has various names like ego, knot of the heart, subtle body, mind, intellect, inner equipment, changing world of objects, individuality, and so on. Ego is the sense of individuality arising out of identification with the finite. When it identifies with the body, mind, intellect, the ego claims to be fat, sad, deluded, or fair, glad, or intelligent. It creates thoughts like, I am born, I am growing, I will die, and so on. All these are expressions of the underlying thought, I am finite. The ego, in its gross forms, assumes superiority, I am the best, and the inferiority, I am no good, complexes. Due to the ego, one's true nature is veiled and erroneous notions abound, each leading to the other, taking us further away from our true identity. For example, I am fat and ugly, no one loves me. I'm so unhappy, I want to die. Or, I am beautiful, there is no one like me, I hope I never grow old. This body should never die, and so on. The self is eternal and unchanging, Sat Swarupa. And I think I am born and am growing, will die, and so on. Asat Swarupa. The self is pure consciousness, the very knowledge, the knowledge principle, because of which all knowledge and life is possible. Chit Swarupa. Whereas I think I am the inert, inert body, jada, and ignorant, achit. The self is unconditioned, infinite, and bliss absolute, ananta and ananda. And I say, I am finite and unhappy. How can one eliminate this problematic ego?
Want to comment?
Yes, he is in this stanza is discussing about the bondage and the various names with which it goes, like the ego and the knot of the heart and subtle body, etc. And here the ego is the sense of individuality arising from identifying with the finite nature of ourselves. And he goes on to describe the various ways of thinking, both negatives and positives. When you think of the positives and negatives, how the ego feels, and the positives uh, in your self is in the pure consciousness, the knowledge principle becomes uh, possible, in which he calls as Chit Swarupa, and the Jada and ignorance is um, the selfish nature of our body intellect.
Good. Very
Hari
nice. So you can see how beautifully Guruji is showing, though we know from the scriptures that I am that pure consciousness, Atman, which is that fourth state, and I am the Druk or the seer of this false duality of Maya caused by identification with our body, mind, and the intellect. That I feels that, oh, I am finite. And so, but no, because of ignorance, I don't know my infinite nature. So, I think I want to become infinite. I want to become happy. I want to be pure awareness with no limitations. But we continue to be identified with the body and say, I am fat, I am lean, I am sick, or identified with the mind, I am emotional, I am depressed, I am identified with the intellect as I am intelligent, I am dull. So, all these kinds of uh, identification with the body leads to our continued bondage to the world. And so, this is telling most important thing is that I am that unconditioned self, not conditioned by the body, mind, and the intellect. So that's what the thought process is continuing. So we will see what the next portion says. Shobana Manath here, and
I'm here, Prabhuji. I'm here. Hari Om.
oh, go ahead, Amma. Good.
Okay. I will read the next one. In
Next
the
three
path of
paragraphs.
yeah. In the path of devotion, Bhakti Marga, the ego is eliminated by cultivating the notion that I am the servant of the Lord, Dasa Bhava. The ego sustains and fattens itself with egocentric desires, ambitions, a strong sense of individuality, and a separation from all. The Dasa Bhava weakens personal desires and individuality. The ego, therefore, gets no food to survive and finally dies of starvation. The path of knowledge, Jnana Marga, advises us that us to objectively see the world and recognize the calamitous result of identifying with it. Discrimination leads to dispassion, which in turn leads to abidance in our true self. So in these two paragraphs, they have, he has, Gurudev has described how, through the two different margas, we can get rid of this ego. Especially first the bhakti marga, you have the dasa bhava, that I am the servant, and when you have the dasa bhava, all your personal desires go away, and there's no sense of individuality, and because of that the ego, it says, does not get enough food to survive and it dies of starvation.
Right.
And the second way, and the second way is through the Jnana Marga, where it says that we have to look at the world very objectively, and and stop identifying with it. Once you start discriminating from the world, and with dispassion, then you turn towards yourself. That is a way you can get rid of the ego.
Good. So you can see beautifully, Guruji, who is an embodiment of both bhakti and gnana, is telling how by the two paths of bhakti and gnana that we can weaken our ego. That's why in Bhakti Yoga, they say, oh, you don't have any requirements in Bhakti Yoga. It's easy to follow. Why? You don't have to know the scriptures, you don't have to, how the so-called Viveka, Vairagya and all that. All of them have developed spontaneously in the person by devoting oneself to Bhagavan. Consciously thinking of the Bhagavan, alone by japa, puja, and study of the various Puranas and stories of Bhagavan, that he has already developed detachment from the world of objects. He doesn't have to discriminate like in the Gnana Yoga. But in Gnana Yoga, okay, it's a person who is more intellectual and he's not of a emotional, devotional kind, then he knows, hey, as I understand what the study scriptures say, I am that pure Atman, I am not the body, mind, the intellect, I am not the limited self, and so this world is unreal, very transient, and comes and goes, and it causes bondage, and so I want to be detached. So that discrimination leads to dispassion. So dispassion is not like suppression, but it is sublimation based on the proper viveka. So
But I agree that one line is that individuality, right? Right nowadays in this world, everybody is actually trying to develop a sense of individuality. That is actually the cause of the current problem, correct? It
yeah, you are
actually
right. But constant that leads to that the individuality has become so strong that what happens that even we don't have any kind of spread of our identification with the family and community. So my own happiness alone is important, and so that way it boosts our ego. You are right. Okay, Sirisha, are here today? No. Okay, and Sudhirji, you want to read, sir? Rest of the
have you
three
yes.
paragraphs.
There's no point in worrying about what has happened, what is happening, or what will happen to the world. Brooding and wishing will do neither us nor the world any good. It is better to act on our good intentions, do whatever we can to the best of our abilities, and then leave the rest. A person kept thinking he should give something to the earthquake victim, but never got around to giving, as he kept wondering what and where to give, and how it would be used by the recipient. We see that when we attach too much importance to mundane pursuits and spend long hours in worrying over petty things, we become dissatisfied and frustrated. On realizing how meaningless and wasteful it is, we probe deeper for true meaning in life. When we think deeply, we discover more meaning to life and start learning from every experience. The place and importance of everything is well understood, and we stop worrying and brooding. The mind is then available for higher and nobler pursuits. At all times, in all ways, free of worry, seek the Lord alone. When the mind is thus fixed in the Lord, the sorrows of the world automatically end.
Yeah. Want to comment?
Yeah, it says that we actually just unnecessarily thinking of unnecessary. Most of the time it has we waste our time and mind by thinking what will happen. We worry about our past. We are worry about the future, and and also we started analyzing our own intentions. There, actually, that example is actually the person is actually give something to earthquake, and he start thinking about whether it is always a lot of people actually have go through it, right? I hear that, oh, I didn't really give donation because I don't know, it will be I mean, some politician is going to steal and he will do it unnecessarily. He don't even know it. So we just get worried about a lot on small things, I think. And so then but they said we have to fix our mind to the Lord. Okay, then
Yeah.
the all these small things actually will not be bothering you. It is.
Right.
One example on that, and another example related with that person kept thinking. I remember somebody asked Gandhiji about about giving arm to some beggar. Why? Then he was like, oh, this beggar is actually just enjoying his life, and he is getting free money, and everybody is giving. And Gandhiji said, your dharma is actually the giving only. Okay, you don't worry about what actually he does it or not. So my point was, if you are actually feeling that dharma to give, just give. Don't worry about the how it is being taken care. It is gone into the good cause or bad cause. That's what I understood, Ravi.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Yeah. So, uh, being in the society, yes, we have to do the society, work in the society in the spirit of karma yoga and bhakti yoga, and don't worry about the consequences. And of course, you plan what is right, but don't keep on worrying about the whether the same result is going to come. So, like this example of the earthquake or anything that you think of, if you are worried whether the money is used properly or not, investigate and see the best organization that you know that it spends the time, the money with the least waste, and stop worrying. And if you don't want to give, don't give, and just leave it. And don't keep on criticizing the other people and waste your time. That's the most important thing. So, just like Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you should think of the right time and place and give it without any expectation of any return. That's all we need to do. But dana by itself is not going to achieve anything, but it will purify your mind and develop more, so that you develop more and more detachment to the world. We keep talking about it, but we continue to get involved in the society or in our own family, like ups and downs happen in our life, and then we get completely depressed, though we know everything is transient, but still this whole world and family is like a laboratory for us to for experimentation and test of our sadhana. So we should continue to study the scriptures, continue to contemplate, continue to meditate, and continue to do your little bit of karma yoga, whatever that you can do. And stop worrying, free of worry, seek the Lord alone. So Swamiji gives reference to a couple of things that I thought I would share that. See. Okay. There's verse 29. Yeah. Swamiji gives a reference to Saddarshan. He says, Deho na janati, sato na janma, deha pramanonya udeti madhye. Aham krutik granthi vibhanda sukshma sharira cheto bhavachivanama. It says, the body does not know. Of the truth, there is no birth. In the middle of this truth and the body, in the middle of these two, another of the size of a body rises, which is of so many names: ego, not, bondage, subtle body, mind, the realm of becoming, and the individual, etc. And so that ego is the one that is the cause for all these problems. So ego is the cause, and it causes knot or bondage. And where is this? That is also called the subtle body. It's called the mind, and it is constantly changing. The realm of becoming, and identified with the BMI, I say, oh, I am the individual. But in the in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, you see, Sarvada Sarvabhavena Nischintaihi Bhagavaneva Bhajaniyaha. Always free from all mental anxiety, the Lord alone is to be invoked and sought after with all factors of our personality. That means our body, mind, intellect, all of them should be absorbed in Bhagavan alone. That way, our mind becomes clear from the uh, thoughts of the world. And so our vasana, kshaya, happens slowly. So I really like the Swamiji giving all the pairs of opposites that we get identified with when we identified with the body, mind, and the intellect. And so, but when we identify ourselves with the Atman, the Atman is only one. There is no duality in me, the Atman. So that's why when the Sanat Kumara and Brahmaji asked the Hamsa Bhagavan, who are you? He said, how can that kind of a question come for a great people like you? Okay. When there's only one without a second, okay, you should be asking the question, who am I? Not who are you? So, like that. And so, the teaching is at a very high level for the Sanat Kumaras and Brahmaji. So,
Raghuji,
yes, sir.
the one you showed just now, Narada Bhakti Sutra, and before that you showed, where was that from?
That is the Saddarshan.
Saddarshanam, I see.
Number 26. See, it is in the bottom of the page 69.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
He says, so what will happen if we do not put forth effort to end our bondage? So we will see that next. He says, Yavan nanarthadi pumsaha na nivarteta yuktibihi jagartyapi स्वपन्नग्नः स्वप्ने जागरणं यथा. We'll chant once more. यावन्नानातधी पुंसः न निवर्तेत युक्तिभिः जगत् जागर्त्यपि स्वपन्नग्नः स्वप्ने जागरणं यथा. Okay, and is Uma Golconda here today? No, Uma Shankar.
Here.
Hi. You want to read, Amma?
Word to word translation. Yavat, so long as nanartadihi, as thoughts of various things, signifying here the pluralistic vision, pumsaha, a person, na, and does not, nivartata, eliminate them, yukti bihi, with the logic of the scriptures,
Jagartyapi.
Jagartyapi, even while in walking state. Swapan, one who is dreaming. Agnyaha, such an ignorant person. Swapne, while dreaming. Jagaranam, imagining to be awake. In other words, being awake in a dream, not really waking up. Yata is comparable to.
Go ahead and read.
When a person has a pluralistic vision and does not eliminate with logical thinking, such an ignorant man is asleep even while in the waking state, like one who imagines he is awake while dreaming. Thinking oneself to be finite, alpa buddhi, the individual ego or I notion feels that there exists something other than oneself, dvaita buddhi, that the world is different from oneself, veda buddhi, that everything in the world is different and distinct from each other, nanatva buddhi, and that the differences are real, satyatva buddhi, based on individual inherent tendencies, vasanas, the ego superimposes joy or sorrow on objects, sukha dukkha buddhi, creates likes and dislikes for them, raga dvesha buddhi, runs after or away from things, pravritti, nivritti, gains or losses, labha, alabha, enjoys or suffers them, and temporarily becomes happy or unhappy, sukhi, dukkhi. We generally like movies to have a happy ending, or else we do not want to sit through it. A man was asked if the movie he came out from had a happy ending. He remarked, "Yes, we were happy when it ended. In life, we strive for lasting happiness, but finally receive either fleeting happiness or sorrow. This is due to the wrong notions we entertain, all caused by the ego." The experiences with
You want to comment?
So they are talking about different. I mean, like. So they're saying that, like there are different types of ego, I think, right?
Right.
Like Dvaita Buddhi, Bheda Buddhi.
Right.
So they in this para, they are explaining, like basically it's emphasizing on the ego, that person, how he interprets like oneself, like with the different things, like joy or sorrow, depend on the objects, like likes or dislikes, and gains or losses. So basically, when we are watching the movie, we all think that we need to have an happy ending. And even in the life, when we die, we all think that, we need to die with happiness. But unfortunately, with the egos, what we carry, it does not happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I understood.
Right. Good. Very nice. So I can say beautifully that no, theoretically, we clearly understand and we have no doubt that I am that pure Atman, not the body, mind, the intellect. But practicing it, that Nididhyasanam, practicing it, that I am just the pure consciousness, witness, And all this duality in this world is a transient thing coming and going. And I should be dispassionate to it is hard. So because of that identification with the body, you get the Dvaita Buddhi, Bheda Buddhi, Satyatva Buddhi of this world is Satya. And so we continue to accumulate more and more vasanas, likes and dislikes. Sukha, dukkha, raga, dvesha, pravrutti, nivrutti, labha, alabha, sukha, dukkha. All these things are because of our identification with the limited self. And so, knowing that, we should continue to practice day in and day out, day in and day out, so that gradually we become very objective observers and objective livers in this society, in this world. And so just like instead of being a flower in a water, which when put in water, it absorbs the water and it sinks or rots. But instead of that, gradually you become like a lotus. Though you are in the dirty water of the world, you continue to be like a lotus. You are in the world, but not of the world, not affected by the world. So, and Veena ji not here today, and
Yeah, I have a comment on that. One example actually, that one line, right, that does not eliminate it with a person who does not eliminate it with logical thinking. And also, it is actually talking about this nanatome is actually is bad. Only see, last week I was actually hearing one prabhashanam. It says that you and a potato is actually same. And then the explanation was, potato is also have got a lot of particles in it, and it is actually electrons and all these atoms are there. That atoms is actually just you eat the potato, and that potato become energy, and that energy goes to your brain, and that using that brain energy become they develop additional particle inside it, because using that energy the what is that, the body create new cells and all, and using the same cell that you actually think about yourself. That means that potato is actually not, you think that potato is actually don't have any thought process or thinking, but in a way that potato is actually become your brain cells.
yeah, yeah,
And then brain, and when you die, you go to the earth, and you become a manure for the potato, and potato again another potato. It's some, so we all know it, but logic, nobody is actually using their logics to try to understand the Advaita philosophy, really. That's what
yeah,
I am.
yeah. Just like said that that we are book Vedantins, but we have to become living Vedantins. So very good. Uma Shankar, you want to finish, Amma?
The experiences within the dream are part of the dream, and all achievements therein are as real as the dream. The sleepwalker and sleep talker may do or say wise things, but all this is in the realm of sleep alone. Vedanta says that all of us have been in the sleep of ignorance from the beginningless time and are continuing to function in it. Anandi Madhya
Anadi Mayaya Suptaha Yada Jivaha. I'm going to discuss that afterwards.
Okay. Ignorance may seem bliss from a relative standpoint and in a limited context, but the ignorance that veils our true nature only leads to greater ignorance and related problems. True knowledge alone is bliss. To awake to our true nature is the only way to free ourselves from bondage and sufferings.
Yeah. Want to comment?
Yeah, whatever we dream in the sleep is not real at all. But Meera చెప్పండి.
Yeah. So what is really telling in these two paragraphs is even so-called the waking state is nothing but a dream. Why? Because when you were in dreaming, everything was real. Okay? You had no doubt that what the dream was real. But as soon as you wake up to the waking state, then you say, oh, it was all a dream. The same way, this so-called the world of reality, objective world that we perceive in the waking state, when we wake up to our turiya state of the fourth state of pure awareness, everything disappears. Everything, its illusoriness is easily seen. That's why in Mandukya Upanishad, in Karika, it is said that there are only three states. There are no four states. What are they? The deep sleep state, the dream state, and the fourth, so-called the fourth state, or this pure self. Both the waking and the dream states are combined together as a dream state. So we will see that one here. So in Mandaki Karika, he says, okay, he says, Anyata Kruhnatha Swapnaha Nidra Tattva Viparyase Tayo Kshine Turiyam Padamasnute. He says, dream is the misapprehension of reality, while sleep is the state in which one is in a state of non-apprehension of reality. When the erroneous knowledge of these two states disappears, Turiya is realized. So he is not talking of the waking state here because he is equating the dream, the waking also as a dream. Dream is the non-apprehension of reality. So when you are waking, seeing the objects as real, that you have apprehended the reality. Because in reality, like Bhagavan's teaching started, there is nothing other than that pure Brahman alone. Everything is nothing but Brahman. But while asleep, which we don't see anything, non-apprehension of reality. We are completely ignorant. But that's the reason we want to go beyond the dream and the deep sleep state. When we go beyond the two states, we realize the pure consciousness. He says, Anadi Mayaya Suptaha Yada Jiva Prabhudyate Ajamanidramaswapnam Advaitam Bhudyate Tada. He says, when the individual soul, sleeping under the influence of the beginningless Maya, is awakened, then it realizes in itself the birthless, sleepless, dreamless, non-dual state called Turiya. So this that I am birthless, I am Anadi. I don't have any sleep. It's the body that sleeps. I am dreamless. It is the intellect that is dreaming. I am non dual. There's nothing other than me. Okay. But because of the beginningless Maya, I see all this nanatvam. And that's the reason in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, he says for the common people, he says, Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami Yasyam jagrati bhutane sa nisha pashyato mune. He says, that which is night to all beings, and that state of divine knowledge and supreme bliss, the God realized yogi keeps awake. And that ever changing, transient world of happiness in which all beings keep awake is night for the seer. So, uh, here night means ignorance. See, the real waker is the one, the realized man who no, don't show any attachment to the world of objects. That means he is completely as though he is asleep. But unfortunately, common man is as though asleep to his real nature. And so, uh, the teaching is what? Wake up. Okay. Wake up to your real nature. And it can be achieved how? By constant practice. Constant practice. And constant practice of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga to purify ourselves. And as we purify ourselves, and this Gnanam will abide in, become Vignanam.
Maybe can you just show that once again? That
Which
one,
one?
one that the yogi is actually for other, for when for
See,
others it is in the night. Yogi, sorry, for others in the waking state. For yogi it is a night or something.
yeah,
Can
that
you,
is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2.
yeah, that second line. But yeah, so that which all being keeps awake is night to the seer. This that one. He should not have any night or day kind of night or day tendency. It is everything is same for him, right? For a
No, no,
seer,
see, here the word night and day,
I
okay,
get it.
is you should equate it to the knowledge and
Knowledge and
ignorance.
ignorance. I got that. But now see here that which all belongs keep awake is night for the seer. But for a seer there is no night or awake in stage, right?
No, no, no. For the seer, here the word seer means a realized person.
Yeah, I get that. In which that particular line I didn't really, I was not able to connect it. So,
And that ever changing transient world of happiness in which all beings are awake. That means all beings think they are real, but that he knows it is unreal to the seer.
oh, okay, in the night. Okay, all right, okay, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you can see how beautifully the thought process is coming, showing the discussing this avastatraya viveka, that these three states are unreal. My real nature is that pure Atman alone. Is it okay if we do one more sloka? It might take another 10-15 minutes, or shall we stop?
Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
no, nobody want to stop. We'll continue.
Raghuji, I had a question on that Mandukya Karika.
Yes, sir.
There is no waker, you say there. It's only a dreamer and
Yeah,
deep sleep.
because in Mandukya Karika, the belief is this the ultimate truth alone is there is no world at all. Everything is unreal. Okay, and with that thought, the waking is as unreal as the dream. And
Yes.
so the what is his name? Our Gaudapadaji says in that sloka that there are only three states. Okay, the dream state and the waking state. Why? Because the waking state is as much of a dream as so-called the dream state. Since we can easily tell when we wake up that, hey, I was dreaming, and that's a beautiful example to show that if you believe the realized masters and the scriptures, then you know that this waking is as much of a dream as the thing. But you have to understand, oh, this waking state is so long, it's going on for years and years. But the explanation that is given is, even when you are dreaming just for a few minutes, okay, you have dreamed as if that you have gone through a lifetime. So showing that the illusoriness of the time and space.
Time and space, yes. During the night, during the dream, we will not feel the time.
Exactly. It looks as if that you've gone through many days or weeks or months or a lifetime, okay? And but everything that happened in a half an hour or less of your dream. Many a time I dream and suddenly wake up and then I say, oh, it is still only 12 o'clock. Okay, so like that, the thing is illusory. And those who have attended that, what is that, Yoga Vasishta, you saw the illusoriness of the time in that Mumukshu Prakarana. So that
So,
Leela Prakarana. So,
Raghuji, so here you can say a dream is the one which is very short and you wake up to it. And the waking stage, that what we call, it's a long dream. So when in a small dream, when you wake up from the dream. But in this life, this itself is a dream. And when you wake up, that is when you realize.
yeah,
So then you realize the dream it was just a dream.
correct,
So
exactly.
actually, in the waking world, the objects of the waking world is more stable, so we feel it is real. But objects of the dreaming world is unstable, so we feel, oh, it is a dream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In,
So,
in-
One
to
another.
add that to Raghuji, I think you'll feel that stableness when you meditate versus when you're active and connected to the world. You see you getting more disturbed and
yeah, yeah,
attracted.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, if you pay real, you're right. If you pay real attention, you will see everything is perishing. Even the so-called the mountain, okay, that Himalaya that was there 5,000 years ago is still there. Do you think it's the same Himalaya? It's constantly changing. Same way with our body. Okay, our body is constantly changing, but I keep saying, oh, I. Okay, and this is the thing that we have to continue to remember. The I that is constantly non-changing is the self, but I project it on our body thinking, oh, I am not changing. But though body is constantly changing, then body is not me. Even when the
And to
body is
add
dropped,
to
that I, that as a subtle body remains. That we know from the scriptures and studies and experiences.
Yeah, add to that, Gita is this saying, I think, when you are in dream, we will not even know that we are in dream. Same way, we don't know that we in the waking stage, we don't know that whether we are in dream. We are
Exactly. Yeah. And now, even when we are told that I'm dreaming, that you are dreaming, hey, wake up. And so the whole what we are doing is complete practice of waking up. So that's why it is. That's why it's. I think it's going to come next. I'm not going to tell that one how this waking state is also a dream is beautifully explained. I think in the next one or two verses. So we will see.
Raghuji, I have a question based on what Gita ji said. Like Gita ji said, that when we are ignorant, we are in a long dream, and when we wake up, that's when our ignorance is removed. So thinking of that and the actual dream state, so when you wake up from a dream state, you become conscious of the time and space. But when you wake up from ignorance, uh, into higher intellect, that time the concept of time and space goes away, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. When you reach that fourth state, then everything has, hey, it looks as if that I was dreaming for so long. Okay. Everything, I am just this pure Atman. Okay. So that is the reason that we want to experience that. We want to reach that state. Even thinking about it makes us so happy. And reading, studying the scriptures and all that gives us so much peace of mind. That is the reason we want to uh, reach that state and abide in that state. And even the few seconds of abiding in that state, now we experience that bliss. And we wanted to prolong it to be forever. That's also.
The reason is the ego is dormant in the deep sleep and dream state. But in the waking stage, it's not dormant.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's going to come. In the deep sleep state is completely dormant, and in the dream state is partially awake, and in the waking state, that ego is completely awake.
So that is why I was asking about that. The last one you showed that there is no waking stage as though, but
Right,
it merges with the dream state, I think.
correct.
Okay.
But Raghuji, that once you reach the Turiya state, that is actually, we can call it as the waking state, right?
Say it again,
Because
sir.
once you are realized person, then he is always in that waking state. It's already wake, right? Because with the knowledge.
Yeah, you are that Atman, but having that Vijnanam, then you wake up to that fourth state. And then once you are awake to the state, you remain in that waking state.
On that time concept, I would say that we always say that in physics, we say there is nothing called a now. For now is time is referential. Say, for example, say you actually standing now here, and there is a guy, another person going on a rocket, and for him, his now and my now is totally different.
Yeah,
As it depends
exactly.
on his. So the time is actually, you cannot use it. It's just for a referential process.
Correct, correct. Yeah, we all know from the scientific studies prove everything that has been said in our scriptures is exactly what is uh, proved by the scientists now from the space travel and all that. Correct. Okay, so we didn't have to go to the number 31. So we'll stop here. Okay, and let us see. Shobnam, you want to do the summary next class?
Raghuji, I will be in India, so I'll join at 6 a.m., but I'm not sure if I'm not able to join and all that. I don't want to take a chance. Raghuji.
Okay, then
I can do it when I
Sudhirji.
come back. Yeah.
Okay, Sudhirji, you want to do the summary? You are muted.
Oh yeah, I will do it. I had a 29, 30, 30. Sorry,
Oh,
20,
yeah, 29 and 30. Yeah.
29. Okay.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Raghuji. Hari Om,
Hari
everyone.
Om.
Hari Om,
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari
Om.
everyone.
Hari Om, Mandi.
Hari Om. Namaskaram.
Namaskar, Mandi.